them on the trip, but we keep counting 6. We discussed a presence anomaly, a phenomenon where something extra joins your group without belonging there. Many of you reached out after that broadcast. You told us you were left with one conclusion: camping alone must be safer. But this was never our intention. We didn't mean to imply that the forests are safer alone, because if the forests do not bring you unwanted company, they will bring you something else. And in this video, we will talk about the anomalies that you might encounter on your solo trips. These are not insects as you know them. The creatures locals refer to as the hellworms cause of their belief that these things crawled out of hell. 4 to 5 feet in length, armor-plated, impossibly fast, these things lurk in the damp, unseen corners of the woods. Caves, abandoned root systems, hollow logs that stretch like tunnels. What makes them truly dangerous, however, is not their size. It is their intelligence. Reports confirm that when they consume an animal, they seem to acquire more than just flesh. They gain access to memory. If a centipede devours a rabbit, it will crawl straight to that rabbit's burrow and kill every living thing inside. If it takes a lone hiker, it will find its way to the hiker's home, their family, their friends. The knowledge is not perfect, not precise, but it is close enough. This is why the Office of Anomaly Safety has long advised, if a family member goes missing while in the forest, do not simply mourn. Reinforce your doors, reinforce your windows, and report the disappearance immediately. There are those who ignored this, and there are records, bloody door frames, signs of struggle across the floorboards, entire households reduced to silence in a single night. These creatures are nearly resistant to small caliber weaponry. Their exoskeleton is a kind of natural armor, thicker than sheet metal, making small firearms useless. Only high-caliber rounds can pierce it, and even then you have to shoot it quite a few times to kill it completely. Civilians are advised not to engage, but if you find yourself in a confrontation with one of these creatures, maintain a safe distance and aim for the head. Where did they come from? No one knows. Some insist they evolved. A natural creature that grew unchecked in the depths of a sinkhole in Zone 8. But most OAS agents and researchers seem to believe the alternative, that they crawled through from somewhere else. Perhaps through a rupture in time. What we know for certain is that the first documented sighting was in the early 60s. Zone 8 residents reported livestock being dragged underground. Entire kennels of dogs, cattle. Law enforcement dismissed these at first until they started getting reports of hikers and campers going missing. A joint extermination effort between the OAS and local law brought their numbers down, but they were never eradicated. Sightings continue to this day, but quite rare. We hope you are not unlucky enough to see one. Small humanoid figures described by locals as child-sized with tiny deer antlers sprouting from their skulls. No photographs exist, no physical evidence, yet their influence is undeniable. The Nodders are not violent. In fact, many insist they hear their laughter while working in fields during the summer, or their songs when it rains. They are described to be very mischievous, and the thing that they find the most pleasure in is making travelers lose their way. You may walk for hours, certain you are heading north. You may swear you recognize that tree, that bend in the trail, yet you will pass it again and again and again. The Nodders have bound your path into a loop, a knot only they can untangle. Almost all reported cases involve lone travelers. Couples, groups, even pairs of hunters seem to be left untouched. But a single hiker, they follow close, unseen, tugging the trail tight around him, extremely entertained and intrigued by his confusion, uneasiness, and fear as he tries to find his way through the woods. There is, fortunately, a way to break their enchantment. It is an old method, handed down through generations of farmers in Zone 5. Pick up 7 stones, drop them one at a time as you walk, a few steps apart, leaving a trail. Count each one aloud. And when you release the 7th stone, you must loudly say, 8. This greatly confused the Nodders. Confused, distracted, they will run back along your path, counting again and again, trying to find where they lost count. And in that moment of confusion, their spell breaks. Hikers who escape this way report hearing voices behind them, soft, angry mutterings, counting in hushed tones. 5, 6, 7, 7. Where is 8? Do not look back. Simply leave. We don't know if there's any significance to only using 7 stones or if you can do the same trick with more or less stones, but the locals claim that the trick only works with 7 stones. Not all who die in the forest stay buried. Occasionally, when a person is murdered, discarded, or betrayed with extreme violence, their body may not lie still. Instead, it rises again, a lurking corpse, eager for vengeance. They appear exactly as they were left, mutilated, decomposing, their injuries preserved in grotesque display. They walk with stiff, broken movements. Not zombies, not ghouls, but vessels for hatred. Do they attack at random? No. They pursue one target only, the one responsible for their death. Those who stumble upon a lurking corpse in the forest are rarely harmed. If you see one, avert your eyes. Do not speak to it. Do not touch it. Step aside. Let it pass. And then report the sighting immediately to your nearest OAS center. Because if you see this anomaly, it means there is a killer still living and a spirit unwilling to let go. Sometimes the OAS will quietly track these beings, allowing them to lead agents to the murderer. Other times, the corpse gets to the killer before the OAS can track it down. In either case, the corpse stops moving as soon as the killer is captured, or the corpse enacts its revenge. We don't understand what exactly causes this, but the few cases where this phenomenon has taken place were cases which involve deep betrayal or feelings of extreme anger or resentment in the victim's last moments. However, there are multiple cases where these conditions were met, but the corpse didn't reanimate. We would like to do more research on this anomaly, but the lurking corpses are considered one of the rarest anomalies on record. In fact, fewer than 40 confirmed cases exist across all zones. And finally, one of very few friendly encounters you may have in the woods. The locals call it the borrower cat, an ordinary cat in appearance, striped, black, ginger, no two sightings alike. It approaches campsites at night, often when the fire burns low, and steals a small object, a glove, a sock, a pen, maybe even a button. But in its place, the cat leaves something behind, an old coin, a smooth stone, a trinket of jewelry long lost. Zone 6 through Zone 11 hold countless stories of the borrower cat. Many consider its gifts tokens of good fortune, blessings that ensure safe passage home. Travelers often wear them as charms. Some even keep them on their keychains for life. It is advised never to capture the cat. Those who tried were met with sudden misfortune, broken bones, sudden fires, accidents on the road, perhaps coincidence, perhaps not. So if you meet it, let it take what it wants. It will always give you something back. The forest is alive. It is full of memories, both human and inhuman. It does not like when you walk it alone, so do not. Bring others. Stay on marked trails.